I'm Eazy-E, the hip-hop thug.
What's up, Dr.A?
I'm DJ Yella.
And MC Ren couldn't be here today because he is at home sick, and we're N.W.A.
There's nothing in our records that's not real. Everything that's in our records did happen or could happen.
Some songs say you might end up dead.
Ice Cube names 4 people he absolutely hates. That's the title. That's the promise. And this is the story of how Ice Cube targeted Eazy-E, Jerry Heller, Dr. Dre, and MC Ren to build his solo empire. Ice Cube is a legend, a cultural icon, a pioneer who changed music forever. But to understand his rise, you have to understand the brotherhood he destroyed. This is the story of N.W.A, the group that shook the world, and how money, betrayal, and ambition tore it all apart. N.W.A was a seismic event, a cultural bombshell. Formed in 1987 in Compton, California, they gave a voice to the marginalized. They called it reality rap. The media called it gangster rap. But whatever you called it, it was raw, aggressive, and unflinching. The group had distinct talents. Eazy-E was the financier, a former drug dealer who used his street money to fund Ruthless Records. Dr. Dre was the producer, the sonic architect who built revolutionary soundscapes. And Ice Cube was the lyricist, the wordsmith who gave the group its political edge. Add MC Ren's raw delivery and DJ Yella's steady hand, and you had a perfect storm. Straight Outta Compton was a bombshell. It was aggressive. It was articulate. It was a sonic document of life in their community. Tracks like Fuck the Police were so potent that the FBI sent them a warning letter. That only made them more famous. The controversy turned into publicity. The publicity turned into sales. And the sales turned into success. For a brief moment, N.W.A was a brotherhood. They were united by a shared purpose and a common enemy. They were fighting against police brutality. They were fighting against systemic poverty. They were fighting for the voiceless. They gave power to a generation of marginalized youth who finally had someone speaking their truth. But success brought money, and money brought problems. The financial structure of Ruthless Records was the original sin. Eazy-E and Jerry Heller co-founded the label. That meant the other members were essentially employees. Ice Cube was the main writer. He ghost wrote most of Straight Outta Compton. He penned the majority of Eazy-E's solo debut, Easy Does It. His pen was the weapon that made them famous. His words gave them credibility. His lyrics gave them power. But despite his creative contributions, he only got paid $32,000 after the group's meteoric rise. That's nothing compared to what the album made. The contract Jerry Heller presented to him in 1989 didn't even confirm his status as an official member of N.W.A. Cube felt exploited. He felt undervalued. He felt disrespected. And in December 1989, he walked out. He became the first to defect. His departure left a bad taste in N.W.A.'s mouth. The brotherhood was broken. N.W.A. made a critical mistake. Instead of addressing the financial dispute privately, they attacked Cube publicly. On his 1990 solo debut, America's Most Wanted, Cube stayed quiet about his former group. He focused on his new work with Public Enemy's production team, The Bomb Squad. He was building his solo career. He was moving forward. But N.W.A. took the first shot. On their 1990 EP, 100 Miles and Running, Dr. Dre rapped, "Started with 5 and yo, one couldn't take it. So now there's 4 cause the 5th couldn't make it." The diss was thinly veiled. But it got worse. On the same EP, the song Real Niggas branded Cube a traitor. They called him Benedict Arnold. They questioned his authenticity. This really pissed Cube off. N.W.A. had just made a critical mistake. They handed their most skilled wordsmith a motive to retaliate. But who do you think was in the wrong here? Was N.W.A. right to call him a traitor? Or was Cube right to leave over the money? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories on hip-hop's biggest beefs, make sure to subscribe. Because what came next was brutal. Ice Cube's response was a public autopsy. On his 1991 album Death Certificate, he released No Vaseline. It's widely regarded as one of the most brutal diss tracks in music history. The track's intro sampled N.W.A.'s own Message to B.A. skit, turning their attack back on them. Then Cube launched a methodical assault on all 4 of his former friends. He didn't just attack them, he dissected them. He exposed them. He humiliated them. First, he targeted Dr. Dre and DJ Yella. He attacked their street credibility. He mocked Dre's association with singer N.W.A, contrasting it with their former hard image. First you was down with the AK, and now I see you on a video with N.W.A, looking like straight bozos. He dismissed Yella entirely. Yellow boy's on your team, so you're losing. Ayo, Dre, stick to producing. The message was clear. Dre should stay in the studio. He wasn't built for the streets anymore. Next, he went after MC Ren. Cube framed him as a pawn. He accused Jerry Heller of using a divide and conquer strategy. Used to be my homie. Now you act like you don't know me. Ren, who had been Cube's friend, was now just another victim of Heller's manipulation. Cube painted Ren as weak, as someone who chose money over friendship, as someone who sold out. But the venomous core of No Vaseline was the final verse. This was Cube's brutal, personal attack on Eazy-E and Jerry Heller. He used homophobic slurs to attack Eazy's manhood. He accused them of sharing finances. Heard you both got the same bank account. Dumb nigga, what you thinking about? Get rid of that devil real simple. Put a bullet in his temple. 'Cause you can't be the nigga for life crew with a white Jew telling you what to do. The attack was vicious. It was excessive. It was personal. Cube wasn't just aiming for their careers. He was aiming for their souls. The diss worked because it was true. It publicly aired the financial grievances that had caused Cube to leave. It exposed the group's internal rot for everyone to see. The business structure that Eazy and Heller had built was now under public scrutiny. Every fan knew about the exploitation. Every fan knew about the broken contracts. Every fan knew the truth. Cube himself later bragged that he knocked them down like bowling pins. N.W.A. never recorded a group response. The song accelerated their final breakup. Years later, DJ Yella revealed that Eazy-E had been working on a response track, but it was never completed or released. Cube had set a new, brutal standard for diss tracks. He had shown that a single artist could destroy an entire group with just words. The power of his pen was undeniable. Ice Cube's exit and his successful diss track created a blueprint. Now, Dr. Dre wanted out. Dre also felt he was being ripped off by Jerry Heller. In a 1996 Vibe magazine interview, Dre said Heller was playing a divide and conquer game. Dre believed Heller had chosen to prioritize Eazy-E at the expense of the other members. Heller later admitted to this, though he framed it as a business alignment. Dre was a producer and a member of the group. Eazy was interested in being Berry Gordy, so more of my time was spent with Eazy. Dre felt trapped, so he got help from Suge Knight. Suge Knight's involvement marked a dark turning point. Feeling contractually trapped, Dre sought Knight's assistance to negotiate his release. But when Eazy-E refused, Knight abandoned negotiation in favor of coercion. This was the moment the gangster persona was weaponized as a brutal business tactic. Knight and his associates confronted Eazy at the recording studio. They allegedly told him they had kidnapped Jerry Heller and were holding him in a van. When that failed, Knight escalated. He presented Eazy with a piece of paper containing his mother's address. The threat was clear. His family was now a target. This wasn't a lyrical battle anymore. This was real life. This was violence. Eazy-E, a man who rapped about violence, was outmaneuvered by real-world brutality. He signed the release papers. He freed Dr. Dre and the DOC from their contracts. This was the consequence of the beef Cube started. Eazy had successfully transitioned from a street hustler to a legitimate record executive, but he was ultimately forced to concede, sacrificing his label's most valuable asset to protect his family. The irony was brutal. Eazy had built a career on a tough persona, but when faced with real threats, he had no choice but to surrender. The streets he had glorified in his music had come back to haunt him in the worst way possible. With Dre's release, Death Row Records was born. Dre, Suge Knight, and the DOC established a new entity built on Dre's musical talent and Knight's ruthless business approach. Its creation was a direct challenge to Eazy-E's supremacy on the West Coast. The stage was set for the next war, Eazy versus Dre. The battle for Los Angeles had begun. Dr. Dre wasted no time. On his 1992 masterpiece, The Chronic, Dre and his new protege, Snoop Doggy Dogg, released Fuck With Dre Day. The track was a commercial and cultural phenomenon. The lyrics were a direct assault on Eazy-E's credibility and manhood. Dre's opening verse set the tone. Used to be my homie, used to be my ace. Now I want to slap the taste out your mouth. The song's high-budget music video received heavy rotation on MTV. It introduced a caricature named Sleazy E, a diminutive figure who was chased and humiliated throughout the video. This visual mockery cemented the diss in the public consciousness. Dre was using the most powerful media platform of the era to publicly ridicule his rival. This wasn't just about music anymore. This was about destroying Eazy's reputation in front of the entire world. Eazy-E's response was brilliant. Released in 1993 on his EP It's On, Dr. Dre 187 Killer. The track Real Motherfucking G's is a masterstroke. Easy recognized he couldn't compete with Dre's polished G-Funk sound, so he pivoted to attack Dre's authenticity. The track reframed the conflict as a battle between real G's and studio gangsters. Eazy's assault was menacing and humorous. He deconstructed Dre's hard man image by pointing to his past. All of a sudden, Dr. Dre is a G thing, but on his own album covers, he was a she thing. This was a reference to Dre's time in the 1980s electro-hop group World Class Wrecking Crew. To drive the point home, the EP's album art and the music video featured photographs of Dre from that era, wearing lacy outfits and makeup. The images were devastating. They showed a side of Dre that completely contradicted his current gangster image. Eazy also ridiculed Snoop Dogg's slender frame. Talking about who you gonna squabble with and who you shoot, you're only 60 pounds when you're wet and wearing boots. The music video mirrored the Dre Day video, featuring a bumbling Dr. Dre lookalike being paraded around as a clown. Perhaps the most potent blow was financial. Eazy revealed that due to their contractual arrangement, he was still profiting from the success of Dre's diss track against him. The same records that you're making is paying me. This line, often paraphrased as Dre Day only make Eazy's payday, exposed the irony. Eazy was getting paid from Dre's own diss. At the time, Dr. Dre's The Chronic and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style were far more commercially successful than Eazy's EP. Death Row had won the battle for the charts, but Eazy's rebuttal scored a decisive victory in the war for credibility. Real Motherfucking G's resonated deeply with those who valued authenticity above all else. It became an anthem for those who believed that street credibility mattered more than commercial success. Decades later, Snoop Dogg himself admitted to the song's power. But when they dropped that motherfucker, we felt that one. MC Ren and DJ Yella were caught in the middle. DJ Yella remained professionally associated with Ruthless Records and continued to produce for Eazy-E, but he reportedly remained personally closer to Dr. Dre. MC Ren's position was even more complex. Despite staying signed to Ruthless, he refused to participate in the lyrical war against Dr. Dre. He maintained his friendship with Dre. He was even present in the studio during some of the recording sessions for The Chronic. This led to Snoop Dogg giving him a shout-out on the album's intro. But Ren's refusal to choose a side was interpreted by Eazy-E as disloyalty. This led to a significant falling out between the two. Ren stated they did not speak for more than 2 years. The beef Cube started had poisoned every relationship. Trust was gone. Friendship was gone. The brotherhood was completely destroyed. The war only stopped when Eazy-E was diagnosed with AIDS in 1995. The news was shocking. The diagnosis came suddenly. Within weeks, the man who had seemed invincible was fighting for his life. The beef was over. All the diss tracks, all the public humiliation, all the threats, none of it mattered anymore. In his final days, there were gestures of reconciliation. Multiple sources report that both Dr. Dre and Ice Cube either visited Eazy-E in the hospital or spoke with him before his death, expressing profound regret over their fallout. The conversations were emotional. The regret was real. Eazy-E passed away from AIDS-related complications on March 26, 1995. He was only 30 years old. His death was a tragedy. It turned a bitter feud into a cautionary tale about brotherhood lost to ambition. While Ice Cube's No Vaseline is one of the most brutal diss tracks ever, it, along with the feuds that followed, fueled the solo careers of everyone involved and defined 1990s hip-hop. The conflict propelled Ice Cube to superstardom. It made Dr. Dre a mogul. It gave birth to Death Row Records. And it immortalized Eazy-E as the godfather of gangster rap. The beef became legend. The diss tracks became classics. The story became a blueprint for every hip-hop feud that followed. The violence, the betrayal, the public humiliation, all of it became part of hip-hop culture. What do you think of this iconic feud? Drop your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more deep dives.